What's up, guys? Welcome to I-90 Sports. What's up?
It's so much better now that we're champs.
Anything's possible!
We've never had a 4,000-yard passing. And we're the oldest franchise in the NFL.
What's up, guys? What's up? Welcome back to I-90 Sports. Episode 5. So banging them out so far, man. What up, JD? Welcome back, brother. How you doing, man?
Well, Bobby, I'm doing excellent as always, my man. And this is it, man. This is the week. This is it.
I know we get NFL football back on Thursday. The regular season starts, and it's gonna be good. It'd be good to have some football back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays. But man, we got some a pretty good little nugget that came out from a previous Patriots player that's still I would say still connected to the team in some ways. I would imagine he still talks to a lot of the guys
Sure.
they do hold him, hold a very high respect for him. And that's Rob Ninkovich.
Oh yeah.
And he came out and said that players had told, this is people in the organization and players had told a source. So he had said, his exact quote was, sources had told him that. So when I see sources, JD, this is what I think of it, right? Sources to me means players and people in the organization. That's
what it should mean. Yeah.
That's what sources means to me. And he doesn't want to throw anybody's name out there, you know what I mean? So that's what that means to me. So according to Rob Ninkovich, sources have told him that Cam Newton was being taught the playbook by Mac Jones, their 15th overall pick. What is your initial response to that?
I mean, I mean, Cam Newton, who's been in this league he's been playing football for probably around 2 decades, and he's been in the NFL for a decade. And the fact that a early 23-year-old is teaching you.
Literally just turned 23.
Also, you've not only that, but you've been on the team for a whole year. You've had a whole year to learn the playbook. It tells me this. It tells me that Cam, he may say all the right things. He may do a lot of the right things, but he doesn't do anything extra, and he clearly hasn't honed his craft over the years. That's what that tells me. He hasn't taken the time over the years, the extra time it takes to hone his craft, and like a lot of guys do, and I think that's a shame. How do you feel as a fan, somebody who's invested your time in rooting for Cam?
So here's my take on it, right? Even if that's half true, you know what I mean? Even if that statement is half true, even a little bit true, it's still a terrible look on Cam. It's still a bad look on Cam. A rookie, the 15th, the Patriots' first round pick, a rookie, a kid who's never seen an NFL field in his life. I mean, granted, he did play for Alabama, which is a pro-ready system, but still, he's never seen an NFL field in his life, and literally given the playbook that, they just handed the playbook and say, here you go, kid, study up. And he's teaching Cam the playbook and the reads and the calls at the line of scrimmage. Even if that's half true, that's a terrible look for Cam, if he's trying to get another job in the NFL.
And as impressive as that is for Mac Jones, if you're like the Patriots looking at it like, wow, he already learned the playbook and stuff like that, it is happening more and more these days in the NFL. So if you're another team looking at Cam Newton saying, okay, well, I want to bring you in as backup. Why would I bring you in even as a backup when you can't even learn the playbook after 2 years? Now, I know the Patriots have a complicated playbook, and I get that. That makes sense. But still, the fact that a rookie is learning the playbook before you are, definitely a problem. Huge problem. Oh, I like that. There you go. Let's see.
So it's just a bad look. Like I said, that it might not even be, even if it's half true. It's
He makes a bad backup now, too. Because backups are supposed to be, like you said last podcast, coaches on the field, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't know the playbook, how can you possibly help someone who knows the playbook better than you do? It's impossible.
No doubt. And it again, right? It harkens back to the reports that we saw last year, JD, that Newton had struggled with the at the line of scrimmage calls and just struggled with the playbook. Middle of the season, there were still quotes coming out from him that said he didn't quite understand it. And that's like, let's say let's call the middle of the season week 8 or 9. You know what I mean? That's the heart of the season. And he's still not still didn't quite grasp the audibles at the line of scrimmage, or even just like the hot routes. You know what I mean? If you see a blitz coming and you don't understand the hot route, the fact, I mean, I don't know which side that if it's like, let's say it's, like I said, let's say it's half true. Does that
happen once?
Do you think that much lower of Newton, or does the fact that you see in a report like this drive home the fact that he's really not, the football IQ just isn't there, or do you focus on the other side of it and go, wow, that's a pretty good little check in the boxes that's a check in one of the boxes for Mac Jones, being like, he's already reading the playbook, understanding the audible calls, and grasping the offense, this early in his career. So
there's no question that it's good. There's no question that it's very, very, very good that he's doing that early. But what I would say, my response to that would be that this isn't 20. If this were 2005, I'd say, wow, Mac Jones, he's like a phenom. He's learning the playbook just like that, so fast. But we've seen this happen over the last 7 or 8 years, where these rookies come in and they've already been running pro-style offenses since they were in high school. So they grasp onto it really fast. So this isn't something – now, obviously, the Patriots – it's a little bit of both, obviously, to me, because the Patriots are a complicated offense. Josh McDaniels does have a complicated offense. You do have to be pretty smart to be able to run that and to be able to run it at a high level. So the fact that Mac Jones can do that's very, very impressive. On the other hand, Cam Newton, you're a veteran. You would think after all the years, you would know, things would start to look similar to you, and you'd adapt to them easier versus things are getting harder and other people are, showing you up. So it's disappointing. And like you said, I don't see a place for him in the NFL anymore, because if you're not there with the football IQ, if the football IQ isn't there and the athleticism isn't there, as we've talked about ad nauseum on this podcast,
over and over and over again,
the athleticism is gone and the football IQ clearly isn't there. So it's just, I don't know. It is disappointing, and I think that Cam might need to go to the Canadian Football League, honestly.
It's we've talked about we've talked about it in prior episodes about just that the lengths that they've gone to try and get Cam to understand how to read, how to make the correct read. We've just gone over that.
There's a lot of leaks too that came out of the Patriots camp, isn't there?
There's a bunch of there's all sorts of reports
what was it that Cam he would leave early. He'd be one of the first guys to leave.
I just think the Patriots thought at the time that they could work with Cam and they could teach him how to. I think here's what their thought process was. I think they went into this when they signed Cam and they brought him on, and they thought that they could, as long as he had the basic understanding of the offense, like basic understanding of the Pats offense, they would be able to survive. But I think they learned real quick that it was just extremely tough for him to come to the line of scrimmage and make the right hot reads. And it was just that they have one of the most complex offenses in the NFL. And he just had he had way harder of a time than they thought he would picking it up.
It'll kind of put the Cam stuff in a box, because now that he's off the team, you kind of don't have to talk about him as much anymore. I know somebody mentioned that in the chat. We've been talking about him too much. I get that. I feel you. But the final thing I would ask about Cam to you, where would be a good fit for him?
See, I don't know. Maybe Houston, maybe the Texans. I mean, they got Tyrod Taylor down there.
I would rather have Tyrod Taylor, though, to be honest.
I mean, at least
I would, because he can make a lot of plays, and Cam, I don't know. I'm not sure.
That's the problem that he's going to run into is, like I would have said at the beginning of the year, the Bears maybe, but they got Justin Fields, so they have their kind of future set up. I would have said the Dolphins, but I think they're kind of hellbound on seeing on whether I think they're hellbound this season on seeing what they have in Tua and if he can make it or not.
There's more young quarterback talent than we've had in a long time, maybe ever. So that's Cam's problem too, is that you're competing with so many different people now. You got a lot of people to compete with. Dude, only 3 teams wanted. You remember that? Tom Brady. Watch. 3 teams wanted him.
I know.
6 Super Bowls. What?
I know.
5 Super Bowls.
He's gonna. And here's the thing with Cam. So to just end this, to kind of just wind down the Cam talk. He doesn't want to. If he wants to stay in this league, I think he's going to have to take a backup role. I do. I don't see him. I mean,
but who would want him as a backup?
But that's the other thing too is the market has to be there for him, and I don't know. I just don't.
You need a young quarterback who doesn't really need help with the playbook, and I don't know. I don't know where to get.
I mean, the Texans were the only one that I could come up with that actually have, that would maybe go to Washington with Rivera.
Back to Carolina,
maybe. Maybe go to Washington with Ron Rivera and kind of reunite there, but I mean, he's on the back end of his career. He's slowed way down. We've already talked about this in nauseum. We're
definitely not bashing Cam. We last episode we were trying to say that people were being unfair to him. So the only thing, we're literally just talking about rumors that we heard. We don't know if they're true. We don't know if this is true. This is just Rob Ninkovich, which we assume is telling the truth, but we don't really know.
When people, and let's be honest, when people say sources close to the team or sources close to the team, let's read between the lines, man. They're not going to throw, previous players aren't going to throw players under the bus or coaches. So it's coaches and players on the team.
Exactly, Missy. What a difference a week makes, right? Yeah, we were talking all good about him. I feel you though. I feel you. We've talked about Cam a lot. But anyway, so Mac Jones, that's great though. That's great that he's got the playbook down. He dominated practice. Yeah. Going into week 1, what are you looking for Mac Jones? What are your expectations? Do you have high expectations, or do you just kind of hope he learns? And
I'm just
growing pains.
He's a rookie, so he's going to take his lumps and make his mistakes, and you have to just roll with that. He's not going to be perfect all the time. My expectations are, I would think I would be happy with it if he could get 10 wins. I'd be on board with that if he could get 10 wins.
Yeah, I mean that'd be something. That'd be something for a rookie, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. They do have some talent on that offense, and I think they have I think they have a really good defense. I think that they have I'll tell you this right now. I won't talk about it too much because I don't want to make the show about fantasy or anything like that. But I did take the New England Patriots defense in fantasy, and the reason I did is because, well, the first week especially, because you could switch like throughout the week, so you could switch with defense if there's a lot of free agent defenses if they come out. But anyway, the first couple of weeks they got like a bunch of young quarterbacks, and we all know Bill Belichick loves to feast on young quarterbacks. So that's
absolutely
something I thought about. So yeah, like. I think that the Patriots, it's very possible they could win 10 games. I think here's the thing, man. The Bills, a lot of people are like, well, the Bills are a lock to win that AFC East. Do we know they're a lock? Do we know that they're not going to go backwards a little bit and the Patriots are going to reclaim that? I'm not 100% convinced that the Bills are just all there. Josh Allen seemed to have a really good year. Can he duplicate that every year? I don't know. I think so, maybe. But
yeah, see, that's the thing. If Allen can duplicate from last,
he was great.
The Bills' problem for years now, right? Sustaining a good team and sustaining, success.
Right.
But so let's turn it back down to Mac for So that'll be kind of the final edition there of the Cam talk because, like you said, he's no longer on the team. They let him go and
he's
they
out of I-90. See you, bud.
So I read another article about Nick Saban, Mac Jones, and Bill Belichick, and
tell me about that.
It was conversations that Bill had with Nick that had with Saban about Mac Jones' character, football IQ, leadership qualities. He talked to, according to this article, Nick Saban extensively about Mac Jones before they were able to get him at 15. And I know we know Saban's and Belichick's relationship. They have been very good friends for a very long time. So So clearly this was Bill probably knew he was going to go after Mac Jones well before the draft, if that article's right, then he knew that they were going to go, that was his guy.
Well, and it helps when you don't have to do anything to get him. It helps when you don't even have to trade up to get him. You just sit there and sit there and sit there, and he just falls in your lap. I mean, that definitely helps. So, I'm sure Bill, Bill's a mastermind because, honestly, I think about stuff like this a lot, and I think that because, hear me out with this. I don't know exactly what happened with the 49ers, but if you recall, there was a lot of talk about them taking Mac Jones at number 2 or 3 or whatever it was. It was between Mac Jones and Trey Lance. It was everybody was 50-50. Right. They were 50-50, but you notice how nobody else took Mac Jones until the Patriots did?
Yeah.
Notice that? And you also notice how the Niners they got Jimmy Garoppolo for a second round pick when everybody else was offering first round picks supposedly. So can I just about this Mac Jones situation? Can I say there might have been some sort of collusion here? I'm not gonna be specific here, but why was the media talking about that so much? It feels like Belichick knew that he would fall. I don't know how exactly he would know, but Bill knows things that I don't know. So I just I'm grabbing my tinfoil hat, but I can't really my conspiracy theory isn't all the way there though because I don't know how exactly that would work. So basically, the Niners want him, they don't want him, and then nobody ever takes him. It's strange.
Well, maybe he had a good idea of which direction the other teams were going to pick.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
You know what I mean?
Bill knows a lot of. He's a mastermind. He knows a lot of stuff. So it's fascinating actually. But yeah, Mac, like you said, he talked to Saban. He probably knew that Saban hadn't really talked to that many other people. That's probably one of the things that maybe tipped him off. What else do you think might have been like? What was he? What do you think he was looking for when he was talking to Saban?
I just like that's their style, man. That Mac Jones is their style. They don't need an athletic quarterback. They need him with a halfway decent, with the arm strength. He doesn't have to have a cannon. He's just got to be accurate, football smart, and quick release. And Jones checks all those boxes. He does. Like,
I think he's got a lot of moxie too. I know it was preseason, but I like his. I like how he barks at people. You got to do that as a leader a little bit.
Belichick's got wires in everyone's house. That's how he knows.
He knows, bro. He knows. I'm saying he knows. Like, well, here's my question. Do you think that he would be disappointed if the Bears decided to take Mac Jones over Justin Fields and he was left with Justin Fields? Do you think you would have been mad about that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
That's a good question.
Like, if I had Justin Fields, which I do, I'd be pretty happy, which I am.
I mean, they both seem, Fields and Jones both seem like professional guys, and Justin Fields seems like he's willing to take coaching and learn and just, you know what I mean? So, I mean, the signs point, the signs point upward for him too.
Well, like all indications from camp indicate that both of these guys will be good professional quarterbacks. Both of them. So that's good. And if Zach Wilson is successful, and if Trevor Lawrence is successful, which we assume this could be one of the best quarterback drafts in quite a while.
In quite a while. And I think that Belichick, especially now that he has somebody like Mac Jones, he might be that mentality that we talked about during Brady Watch of like, all right, I can just turn anyone into Tom Brady. He thinks that. He really does believe that. He actually believes that. Well, I think as long as
double down on that.
See, I think he's got a certain criteria that he looks for in that position. Football smart, accurate, quick release. You know what I mean? And
Jimmy
I think
G, Tom Brady, Mac Jones.
I think there's
Matt
probably he's got a set of like I said, he's probably got a checklist like of 4 or 5 things that he looks for, and if he sees that in the quarterback, then I would assume he's pretty confident that he can work with them.
Well, Cab's family said something interesting. He said, I think if the Pats got Fields, they'd still have Newton. That is a tinfoil hat right there. Whew. Anyway, no, but yes, I agree that I think that he's got a lot of. I think he has a lot of like. I don't expect them to be. I don't expect him to play like a rookie. That's the way I would phrase it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. So I have compiled here. So I have 5 bold predictions for the Patriots and 4 bold predictions for the Bears.
Dude, you're
so I want to get your opinions on some of these, and we'll go back and forth.
Please.
So 5 bold predictions for the Patriots 2021 season. This is coming from sbnation.com. So the first one.
Oh, wow.
Mac Jones wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. Your initial response to that?
Oh, man. Offensive Rookie of the Year. There's only one in there. There's like 2. No, there's only one MVP too. Okay, never mind. Yeah, that's baseball. I don't know what I'm thinking. So, So yeah, the Offensive Rookie of the Year and then Defensive, Rookie of the Year. Okay. I don't think so. I think he's got too much competition.
I don't know if he has the talent around him to do that.
The only thing I would say that like is working for him is the Jaguars suck and the Jets suck and Justin Fields might not start. So 3 of the other quarterbacks do have issues about them. Whereas Mac Jones, where he might not have the best team offensively, he might not have the best team, he still has probably a better situation overall, coach, offensive line, good tight ends, and a good defense. So he's going to have some success at least. I think he might have the most success. I don't know if he'll be the offensive rookie of the year, but he'll have the most success, I think. Probably.
That's a steep one for me. Just judging from the talent, like, is the talent around him improved? Much.
I think
much
so.
Improved. Is it enough to
paper.
Is it enough to get him rookie of the year? I don't know. That's going to be tough. That'll be tough.
See how good everybody else is.
I don't know about that one. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm with you on that. Like, I think he's going to be good. I think he'll show flashes and signs of
there's just a few throws in the preseason that I was like, wow, okay. And if Belichick says that he's grasping the playbook at a high rate, I believe him. He's Bill Belichick. He's not going to lie about that. And if he is bluffing, we will find out very quickly, won't we? I mean, shoot, we will find out probably within 2 weeks or so. So, I mean, Miami, I think your guys are going to dominate that game. I think. I would think, like, it's a Belichick understudy. So, Belichick's it's a second-year quarterback. It's not a rookie quarterback, but it's a second-year quarterback who apparently also doesn't know the playbook very well. So that's, I mean, again, all this is conjecture and rumors. We don't know if that's true.
But that's why they call it bold predictions.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah, the bold predictions are definitely going to be bold.
So the next one is that Ramondre Stevenson, the rookie running back, will take Damian Harris's job by the end of the year.
Well, he's a big guy. He's, he looks strong, fast. I mean, he looks like he could start in the NFL. My thing is this, like, how do they look in practice? I don't know. I don't know how they look in practice.
I don't know if Ramondre Stevenson's going to have the stamina. That's being that big and running the way he does. I think they're going to be a tandem. I think they're going to be tandem. I think they're going to use both of them in an equal share because they're both hard runners, and that's, Damian Harris has proven that he can last. That he's been through an NFL season. Stevenson has not. So it takes a lot to get through, 6. Before it was 16. Now it's an extra game, 17 games. So I don't think I don't think that one's going to come true. I think Stevenson is not going to take Damian Harris's job. Those guys are going to see an equal share.
Yeah, this game is going to be even more about, I mean, this is good. It's good for the Patriots that they have 4 running backs and stuff like that, because they added a game. The football season more than ever is going to be a war of attrition. It's going to be a marathon. Like, it's going to be just keeping people healthy. So it's good they have all these running backs, because if one goes down, at least you have 3 others, 2 others, whatever. Like, you can deal with that. But as far as him taking his job, that is a bold prediction. I don't know if Belichick, does he even have a depth chart when it comes to running backs? That's my question. It feels like there's a different starting running back every week. Like, I remember that one year where they had Burkhead had 4 touchdowns one game, and then the next game was Sony Michel had 2, and White had 1. It's just Belichick knows every week is different. I think that's one thing they didn't like about Cam, is that they probably couldn't do that as much. That every week is different thing. Yeah. And I think that actually, I don't know. He's a rookie. We'll see. But hopefully they can get to the point where Mac Jones, you can do the same thing that you did with Tom Brady, where they change pretty much everything about the offense every single week. It's an incredibly complicated way to do things. Tom Brady is obviously the greatest quarterback of all time, so duplicating that is difficult.
Absolutely. Now, the next one, Jacoby Myers will lead the Patriots in yards, targets, and receptions.
Ooh, I don't know. How do you feel about that one?
That's the one that I think could be the most likely most likely truthful prediction.
I don't really know. I have to look more.
That's the one I think out of the ones that I'm looking at, out of these 5 that they gave me, that probably has the most likelihood of being or coming true. So once again, that is Jacoby Myers leading the Patriots in yards, targets, and receptions.
It'd be interesting. I'm so excited. It's gonna be a really good first week. A lot of good matchups this week. I can't wait to talk about that in a couple days too. If man was here, or if man was here. Oh, okay.
I have a feeling that they're gonna, to get Jones comfortable in this offense, they're gonna be throwing a lot to the tight ends at first. You know, they're gonna be throwing, I think, in the beginning of the season, a lot to the tight ends.
They paid enough for him. They definitely paid enough for him. So use them.
No, absolutely. So it might be, you know, by the time, you know, he starts getting comfortable enough in the offense to start throwing darts to Myers, it might be later, you know, it might be at week 6 or something, you know, week 5, week 6. So you never know. But like I said, that one has a good chance that it could be true, but I think they're, you know, the good tight ends are a quarterback's best friend.
Absolutely. No, I mean, if you put it in a good spot, I think my camera froze here.
I think it did too.
If you put it in a good spot, for them, I like the good thing about a tight end is you have a giant target, and it's right in the middle of the field. Mm-hmm. So wherever you are on the field, you can hit that target, usually in the middle of the field, or maybe rolling out to the right, or, you know, hopefully not over the middle, but or hopefully not throwing to the left or something like that. But in general, you want to get it to a guy, or you want to get it to a big target that's really and they have 2 really big targets now. Last year and the year before that, they had no reliable tight ends for Cam or Brady. And that's just a recipe for disaster. It really is, in my opinion, especially in the NFL is becoming more and more of a tight end driven league. It really is. Yeah, no doubt. Now, the 4th bold prediction, these are coming from SBNation.com, guys. So if you're wondering where I'm getting these from, that's where they're from. So SBNation.com says number 4 for 5 bold predictions is Gilmore will be traded for nothing more than a 3rd round pick. No, I think they're going to do everything they can to sign Gilmore. I don't think he goes anywhere this year. I think that one's a reach. I don't think he goes anywhere at all, especially now that they found their quarterback. I think that would have been relevant if they, let's say Mac Jones was a bust, total bust, right? And then you got Cam Newton and he's struggling. Then you look at trade deadline, you're 500 or less, or you have more losses than wins. Then you trade Stephon Gilmore for at least a 2nd round pick, for God's sake. You're not gonna do it for a 3rd. That's too bold for me. But I don't think that's gonna happen at all, because they found their quarterback, and I think that they actually are going to try their best to compete. Even if they don't make the playoffs, I think they're going to do everything they can to compete this year.
All right, now number 5.
Yeah, I am frozen. Sorry, Crom.
You're all good.
Yeah.
Number 5, as long as your audio is good.
I'd rather stay. Yeah, I'd rather not interrupt it. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So, number 5 out of the 5 bold predictions from SB Nation, the Patriots will finish in the 5th seed in the AFC.
That could happen. Sure. I don't see why not at all.
I could see them doing that. They're going to need 12 wins to do it, though. Probably at least 11.
Yeah, they have to get their defense has to be elite. They need that elite Belichick defense. If they can do that, then yeah, for sure. Then all Mac has to do, if that's the case, is like somebody in the chat said earlier, is be a little bit better than Matt Castle.
Yeah.
That's all he's got to do at that point. If you got an elite defense, you are golden.
Yeah, no doubt. So let's head down I-90 into the windy city, into Chi-Town.
getting cold over
And
here.
here is 4 bold predictions for the Chicago Bears in the upcoming season. So I'm curious to know. I will roll them off, rattle them off to JD, and I'll let him get his response to all of them. All right. So number 1, JD, Darnell Mooney will have a breakout season.
I mean, it's just too early to tell for me. I mean, I hope so. That's definitely one of those that like all Bears fans hope that's the case. I want to see what the play calling looks like. Everyone always complains about our play calling. I think it's less that we have a play calling problem. I think that we have like a personnel and chemistry problem where like Nagy wants to play a certain way and we don't have the personnel to do that. So Mooney I want to see how he fits before I make that prediction. I hope that's the case. He definitely has the potential to do that. Yeah, Mooney with 2 O's. That's right. He has the potential to do that. I'm definitely not going to like say that he doesn't have the potential. He definitely does. But I want to see how it fits. Also, if we stick with Andy Dalton the whole year, I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know what it looks like with Andy Dalton. I don't know what it looks like with Fields. We're in a lot of uncharted territory, and Mooney. I want to see how Mooney fits into that. But there's a lot of talent there. I'll say that much.
So you're saying there's definitely potential for it to happen?
It could happen. I hope so. I definitely hope so. I don't think it's that bold. If anyone's gonna have a breakout year, I think it's him.
All right, number 2, JD. The Bears defense will lead the league this year in sacks.
Well, we definitely have the linebackers and the pass rush for it. Lead the league though, I don't know. I mean, there is some really, really, really good pass rushes this year. I'd say we're at least in the top. We'll be in the top 5. We got Roquan Smith, we got Mack, we got Hicks. We got some guys. So high power demon. Yeah. No, there's a lot of guys. It's exciting. That could happen. I don't know about leading the league. I would say I wouldn't guess it. I wouldn't predict it myself, but I hope so, and it could happen. It could happen. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
All right, number 3, Justin Fields takes over Week 4.
That is very likely. That's very likely for a lot of reasons, and it's the first being the fan pressure is insane. Like it's like Chicago. I don't know what's worse, Philly or Chicago, when it comes to controlling the quarterback fate, because we don't have like I've said many times, we don't have the equity that the Patriots have. We don't have like people are just like in Belichick we trust. You know what I mean? There's no like that's what New England people will say when it comes to Belichick and the Patriots. Because why wouldn't you? He's brought you 6 Super Bowl rings. But with Nagy, you got it's like a civil war, dude. Like I'm over here saying, oh, Matt Nagy, he knows what he's doing. He's gonna, he'll make the right decision. But a lot of people are like, dude, he's so stupid, blah, 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 all this stuff, and he doesn't know how to play calls. So I think there's a lot of pressure. I think that if Andy Dalton starts to slip even a little bit, you're going to see Justin Fields in there.
Yeah.
Will Fields be the first quarterback?
I'll let you answer that. What do you think? You think he'll get there?
Oh God, I hope so. That I know that's been my answer for everything. Yes. Do I believe that is my that is my bold prediction. I will take that bold prediction to the bank right here on I-90 podcast, on I-90 Sports Podcast. I'm taking it to the bank right now. Justin Fields will be the first Chicago Bears quarterback in over a century to throw for 4,000 yards. Not this year.
But maybe you're saying year. He will be the one to do it.
He will be the one to do it, yes. Maybe next year.
All right. And number 4, the Chicago Bears will win the division, make the playoffs, and win at least one playoff game.
You said win the division?
Well, win the division, make the playoffs, and win at least one playoff game.
Screw it. Yeah, we're going to do it. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. We're going to do it. Let's do it. We're doing it. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes for one reason. And maybe I'm overstepping. Maybe it's too much. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is a little bit too much, but I think what will put us over the top is not something that we do. It's something that other people don't do. I think that Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are going to be dysfunctional this year. They're going to have issues upstairs in the brain department. They're going to be arguing. They're going to be bickering. That last year where Matt LaFleur took the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands, put it in the hands of Tom Brady, and trusted his defense over Aaron Rodgers that will never, ever, ever be forgotten by Aaron Rodgers. It will never be forgiven. And that will sow a seed of discontent that will eat at the Packers for 20 years, and the Bears will win 10 Super Bowls in that time span. No, okay. A real prediction. No, I think they will win I think they'll do it. I think we got this.
It's definitely inside the realm of possibility. If there's internal dysfunction in the Packers organization,
right?
then that's gonna work every bit in you guys' favor. Every bit.
Yes, Cavs, that's right. Yes, so it's gonna be great. It'll be great. I think that the more that they fight with each other, the more that Aaron Rodgers hates what LaFleur did last year, and that he thinks about that you gave Tom Brady another ring, another Super Bowl over me. Because that's the thing. Rodgers thinks of himself as the greatest quarterback of all time. Of all time. He thinks of himself as the greatest quarterback of all time. Well, the actual greatest quarterback of all time just beat him in a game. And his coach, Rodgers' coach, didn't even trust him enough to make the final play. Just saying.
To execute the final
play.
He
didn't trust him. He said, Aaron Rodgers, you're not that good. Just go sit on the bench. Hopefully the defense will pull through for us. Bad, man. I don't see how you recover from that. That's what this all really was about, the whole offseason thing. But I won't get into that forever. We get into that another time. That's a whole other thing.
We'll get into that on the season preview that we do tomorrow.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That was a whole other thing.
Or that we're gonna do Wednesday night, right? We're gonna have a season preview coming up, guys. Wednesday night. It's like a little kickoff for the NFL season. So
if you're just joining us, I am frozen. my visual's frozen, but my audio's here, so I don't know what's going on there.
I wanted to talk about an intriguing matchup tonight, JD, between two quarterbacks who moved teams. They swapped, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to be an interesting narrative for both quarterbacks. That would be the Jared Goff versus Matt Stafford argument there. Which one? No, I'll let you go first. Goff. Well, first of all, what are your thoughts on the Goff versus Stafford thing? Who do you?
It's interesting.
We'll go individually first. So Jared Goff, what are your thoughts on him and how he's got to play this season coming up?
Well, first of all, I think that Jared Goff is a little bit. It's. I'm not sure exactly what's happening with him because last year was so peculiar. Like the year before, or I guess 2 years ago, Jared Goff was in the Super Bowl. People forget that Jared Goff was literally like he led his team to the Super Bowl, and he played well. He played really, really well in the playoffs. So, how do you go from being in the Super Bowl to being traded for a guy who, no disrespect to Matt Stafford, has never been? He's won one playoff game. How does that happen? It happens because Sean McVay has decided that Goff isn't good enough to be his quarterback anymore. He's sick of his limited abilities. So what I think, my opinion on it is that Sean McVay was sick of, he's kind of impatient. He wants to win a Super Bowl really, really, really bad, I can tell. And he's kind of impatient So he's going to go for the overly talented guy in Stafford. And here's the thing. If you look at, like, sorry, not to ramble too much, but, like, Goff and Stafford are kind of the same guy. Drafted number 1, very talented, took a couple years to develop, have some arm strength and talent, but the difference is Stafford is fully developed. Stafford was just on a garbage franchise, a garbage team, garbage everything that is the Lions. So so my answer to that, the shorter answer I should have said, I suppose, is that Goff is screwed and Stafford has a chance to win a Super Bowl, but I don't know if they will, because I don't know if the Rams have what it takes at all anymore. I think they might have capped out in 2018, 2019, and that might be kind of like they might need to completely rebuild that entire roster, in my opinion, in order to win a Super Bowl. Maybe not, though. How about you? What do you think about that?
I always thought Goff was kind of like, I've gone back and forth with him a while, but I think he's kind of overrated, man. I really do. I think that Rams team as a whole helped him more. Like, it was more the team than it was just him.
Well, people forget Gurley, who fell off the face of the planet.
Yeah, no doubt.
After that,
I just
run,
if you're asking, like, if point blank, like, if you made me choose Goff or Stafford, I would pick Stafford. I would. I can't trust Jared Goff. I don't trust him.
Well, here's a crazy stat, dude. Matt Stafford has more fourth quarter comebacks than Aaron Rodgers.
Dude, Stafford's got a ton of come from behind wins. He's had an above average to good career. You know,
the problem is the Lions defense. A quarterback can only do so much. A quarterback can win you like 8 games, right? But if your defense just sucks every year, you're not going to win more than 8 games. It doesn't matter how good your quarterback is. You could have Tom Brady. If he didn't have any Patriots defense or a good Tampa Bay defense, he's not winning the Super Bowls. It's just not happening. So it's just he's also been down a lot more than Rodgers. That's a good point there.
Like Stafford's just been like Goff was put on the Rams, right? And he had all this talent around him. Like all this talent around him. Had Sean McVay, who's one of the better coaches, and McVay's a pretty good coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He is.
And then you have Jared, and then you have Matt Stafford, who's like, Stafford's just like, to me, got the absolute, shit end of the stick. Like, just been on a crappy organization for, he has the talent to succeed, to be a good quarterback. He does have the tools to,
he's
be
more
a really
of a finished product.
He's just been stuck in that terrible organization for so long.
McVay, I think he was getting sick of Goff's he was getting sick of Goff's growing pains. You know what I mean? He wanted like that finished product. Like he wanted that Aaron Rodgers, that Stafford. He wanted that guy who could make all the throws, all the plays. He knows all the offenses, all the defenses. And the best he could get probably is Stafford. But yeah, again, that's a good consolation prize. And I don't think the Lions got screwed by that either. Jared Goff is not – he may be overrated at some points, but he's not a complete scrub.
No, he's not in the – Jared Goff to me is like middle of the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a middle of the road quarterback.
Would you rather take Stafford or Mac Jones just for this year?
I would probably go with Jones simply because of the youth factor. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, just for this year, I'd go with Stafford.
See,
long term.
Stafford has the experience, and he's what the ceiling is with Stafford,
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, Stafford. I've always said this though with him. They've never given him a good defense. Like he's never had a good team to play with. And everyone's like, you had Calvin Johnson. It's like, yeah, they had each other. and then they had no one on the defensive end. Who was their best defensive player ever? Like Ndamukong Suh, and he left that team in like 4 years. He was like, "I'm out of here. You guys are pissing me off." Like he hated Detroit. So no, I like they haven't been good. Yeah, and he had Ndamukong Suh, and they went to the playoffs and won a playoff game. So it's like Stafford, you give him a team, you'd be surprised what he might be able to do.
Yeah, I'm in this instance. I'm taking Stafford every day over Goff. I think Stafford's in a better. I think Stafford made out way better in that deal.
Oh, hey, what's up, Kitty?
Hey, seriously?
He wants to be the star.
Always.
What about me?
But that's I'm taking Stafford over Goff, and I think Stafford got the better deal. I did. Goff's on the Goff. Come here. I just until the Lions prove me wrong that they're not like this garbage can, like dumpster fire floating down shit. Like the Lions are a dumpster fire floating down shit creek.
Oh yeah, they are. They're never, dude. They're never gonna get better. They're never gonna.
Until they prove me otherwise, until that organization proves otherwise, it's that opinion and that like it's that's what they like. Until they prove otherwise, that's they're a bottom 5 team, a bottom 8 team every year, perennially.
Every year, and they get so much talent, and that talent doesn't sign another contract because they're just like, I don't want to be here anymore. Because who would want to live there?
It's an organizational thing, dude. It's an organizational thing. They just see how badly run they just see how badly run the organization is.
Yeah, and they see it like. And Stafford was a trooper, man. Like he really was. He was a trooper. Like he did a lot of good stuff for that community. He was probably the best. He was probably the best quarterback that Detroit's ever had, like overall, and they did nothing with him for over a decade. You know what I mean? Like they wasted all of his prime. Like his prime is pretty much over. He's got like maybe 2 years left of prime, then he starts getting old and deteriorating.
Stafford waited and gave them every opportunity to help him out. Yeah. With like better coaching, better organizational decisions. Yeah. He stuck it out, I think, as long as he could. He stuck it out as long as he could, and he just finally said, I'm done.
Well, he got traded for it, but I mean, yeah, even if he didn't get traded for, I would hope that he wouldn't sign another contract with them. Like, my God, he probably asked to be traded too.
But you know what I mean? Like, Stafford stayed and gave them every opportunity to prove, to like make better decisions, and they just didn't.
He was a great leader for that team for a long time, and they literally just failed him. I mean, from Matt Millen to whatever the hell they got going on now. What is this guy named Dan Campbell or something? Like they don't seem to know how to, like they hire the weirdest people, and they hired
it highlights the importance of good ownership.
It does. I mean, you can say what you want about massage parlors and all that stuff, but you guys got a hell of a good owner. I'll tell you what.
See, you know what? And here's how I look at NFL ownership, right? A good NFL owner stays the hell out of the football business. You sit in your office, you sign the checks, you shake people's hands, and that's what you do.
Yeah, you basically
leave the football aspect of the game to the football experts. That's
Karam. If you're in the chat, my man, Karam, this is why what Bobby just said. What Bobby just said is the 100% the reason why the Cowboys suck. That's the reason. It's not that they suck. It's that they'll always be average because of that reason. Because their owner is always getting in the way of all their football business. And the owner, to answer your question in the yeah, Dan Campbell's a maniac. To answer your question in the chat, the owner for the Bears is old lady McCaskey. It's George McCaskey's wife. George, rest in peace, is not with us anymore. It's his wife and their family. And
now,
their family is pretty decent.
I had I had put some football questions down here about kind of general football stuff, but I think I'm going to save those two kind of topics for our Wednesday episode of I-90 Sports, so we can talk the I think they're going to be a part of our kickoff show.
Tease the audience. There you go. That's something for you guys to look forward to.
Did you get that Brady thing that I sent you?
Oh yeah.
Now
Absolutely.
so I don't know if you guys had seen it, but Brady did an interview. Basically they were talking to him about how the game is taught, how it's coached, how he looks at it now, how he looks at it now compared to when he first got in here. JD, what did you make of that little interview that I sent you? What did you think of those comments? Do you think Brady's right, or do you think he's wrong?
Oh God, he's right. Oh, he's beyond right. And what I make of it, man, I mean, I wrote an article a long time ago about Tom Brady, and it was actually my most popular article I ever wrote. This is like 3 years ago. And that article it's just about how great Tom Brady is, just the things he does to make him great. And just listening to him talk about how he protects his receivers. And he's not saying it like he's bragging or anything. He's saying it more of like, hey, we got to change these rules because it shouldn't be incumbent upon me to protect my receivers. I should be focused on the game.
So let's back it. I don't mean to interrupt. Let's back it up a little bit. So for anybody who didn't see the interview, they were talking to Brady and a couple of other defensive players down in Tampa, and they were interviewing. It was an interview preseason, before the even preseason started. They were talking to him just about his football career and how it's changed, and he basically had he was saying that the way it's taught now or coached now is much different. And he gave an example where he said that he would not throw. So he gave an example where they were playing Baltimore, and he knew Ray Lewis was in the middle of the field, and he would not throw into the middle of the field because he knew that Ray Lewis was gonna hit that receiver and hit him with the intention of taking him out of the game hard enough and just punish the receivers. And he doesn't basically, he would do everything he could to avoid throwing those what we call hospital balls to receivers. And he
exactly
what it was is it was his responsibility to protect the receiver, and he doesn't like that. It shouldn't be his.
To quote him, he says, "quote A quarterback should only throw the ball to certain places because your receiver is in danger of getting hit. For example, when I used to play against Ray Lewis, I wouldn't throw the ball in the middle of the field because he would hit them and knock them out of the game. And now, every hard hit is a penalty on defense. So I feel like they penalize defensive players for offensive mistakes."
Yeah,
and he said the game is diluted now.
You're basically taken away from you're taken away from the game was his take.
Right, exactly.
And I don't know how you look at it, JD, but that's 1,000% right to me.
What two things hit me. One, he's 1,000% right. That's such an amazing analysis, and the game should be evaluated like that. You shouldn't have that absolutely. That shouldn't be a part of the game. The offensive players should be focused on one thing, and that's getting a touchdown. They shouldn't be focused on, oh God, I hope I don't hurt my guy. That's on the refs. That's on the players committee to figure out rules to protect players. It shouldn't be on the quarterback, but instead it is. It actually, that reminds me of, do you remember in 2009, whenever Kurt Warner threw that pass to Anquan Bolden and almost literally killed him? He literally
he took the hit over the middle of the field. Yeah,
he was almost dead. Like he literally, his eyes were like back into his head, and Kurt Warner was like bawling his eyes out. He was like crying. He's like, I can't believe I did that to him. So yeah, this is a real thing. Brady is not like lying. This has happened more and more and more, and now that you're getting penalized for those things because that's how they tried to protect the players. It is like your what do you call it? You're punishing defensive players, kicking them out of the game for offensive mistakes. And I mean, Brady could exploit that. But on the other level that it hits me, it just tells me how amazing Tom Brady is. That he sees the game on a level that really no one else does.
His like we've said for years now, JD, that Brady's mind is his best weapon, and that like just listening to that little like 2-minute quote from him was
amazing.
It's perfect.
It's like, wow, I've watched football for decades, since I was 8 years old, and I've never thought of that. And Brady is just like, I mean, he's obviously played for over 20 years, so he just knows so much. He knows so much. He's absorbed so much. He's taken so much in. He said, it's funny, Giant Opinion Sports said, I still take Peyton. It's like, I used to think that Peyton was I used to say this. I used to be like, well, Peyton's the smart one, right? And Brady's like, he's the golden boy. He's the clutch one or whatever. That's what I used to say.
I think they're both offensive geniuses.
Brady is genius. He's a genius. It's just unbelievable. But yeah, that's all I can say. And I think that he should be maybe on the players committee if he's not already, which I'm sure at least they asked his advice. Because that is such a good point. You don't want to ruin the game. You don't want to make the game unfair for anyone, even defensive players or anyone. So that's my opinion on it. He's just great.
I just think his take was that it's taking away from the game and the intent and the way it was supposed to be played.
And that matters. I mean, the game is, you have to respect the game. You have to respect the game for sure.
I just thought that was a really, really good take, but we're at an hour mark. JD, this is a little later than we usually go. We're usually on the weekends, guys, and in the morning, but I wanted to at least get one episode in before the week started, and we're going to be back on Wednesday night. But we'll take like 2 or 3 questions, and then we will call it a show. But
I'm really glad we did.
That was Brady's quote was just very. It was
gave me goosebumps a little bit. I was
it just gives you a little like insight into how he looks at the game.
He's Michael Jordan, man. He's Michael Jordan. He is. He's the Michael Jordan of football. Like and I mean, people can say, "Oh, these Brady lovers." It's like, dude, come on. He's the best. He's the best. So, but anyway, yeah, I would love to take any more questions. We kind of like brush over we kind of like answer questions as they come along, which is awesome. I like that as well. Here's one for you: Tua versus Daniel Jones matchup comparison. Who plays better?
Tua versus Jones versus Mac Jones. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be an interesting matchup. I personally think I would give Mac Jones the edge there, but I don't know. What do you think, JD? I'm giving the edge to Mac.
I'm gonna give the edge. Well,
wait. Somebody's saying Brady cheated. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Here's what I'll say.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I'll take my 6 Lombardis any day of the week. Them bitches are all shined up and looking good in Foxborough, and I'll take it.
Spygate. Here's what I'm gonna say about Spy. I'm gonna address 2 things about that because there's only 2 things that I need to address about that situation. Because I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm an outside looking in. Okay. Me too, American Patriot, 100%. The Spygate. Lovie Smith admitted that they that people looked that 20 plus teams did what Spygate did, the same things that they did in Spygate. Now the only difference is Eric Mangini reported the Patriots because Eric Mangini said, now that I'm coaching for the Jets, you're not going to spy on me, otherwise I'm going to report it because he's a narc. And guess what happened after that? Eric Mangini he never saw another job in the NFL after that. So you could say what you want. You can say what you want about Spygate. That one was all over the place because everyone was doing it. And here's another thing that everyone was doing. Deflategate. Everyone was doing that. Aaron freaking Rodgers, guys, came out and said that I inflate the balls. So Aaron inflates the balls, Tom deflates the balls, and you guys are all complaining as if it matters.
Rodgers even said that he likes his football overinflated.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was Steve Young says he likes it deflated as heck. He said deflate the crap out of it. That's what he said.
Yeah.
So every quarterback is just tainted now. Everyone who's ever deflated the ball in the history of football is tainted now. Like as if deflating it changes anything. Okay, but anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. But I think Jones will play. I think Jones will play better than Tua Tagovailoa. I don't even know how to say his name. Simply for 2 words, Josh McDaniels. That's the reason I'll put that.
But yeah, we're gonna have once again, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
Episode 5. We are going to be back Wednesday night on a kickoff show. We're going to talk more football. We're going to give some prediction. We're going to give some season predictions. We're going to do some fantasy stuff, some sleeper stuff. All football Wednesday night in honor of the upcoming start to the NFL season. But that is the next time you will see me and JD live, and it'll be episode 6.
Yeah, sorry for the video, guys, but yes, I'm excited to break down all of the matchups tomorrow or Wednesday. Be very excited.
Yeah, we'll be talking all football Wednesday night for our kickoff show. But we are looking forward to seeing all of y'all in there. JD, any final words?
Bear down, baby. Bear down. Let's go.
Let's go, Pats Nation. Let's go. Football right around the corner, guys. Once again, me and JD love y'all. We thank you guys for all of your incredible support of the podcast, of the channels, and we will definitely look forward to seeing y'all Wednesday night. I will be back tomorrow as well on Tuesday for the Sox and the Rays, I believe. And that'll do it for us, though, guys. Let's go, Pats Nation. JD and his Bears bear down. Appreciate y'all, and we will catch y'all later. We are out of here, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you back Wednesday night.
Bear down, boys.